Okay, so let's start with a super quick revision of the next chapter, that is inspection, search and seizure and arrest. Okay, where we are going to deal with section number 67 to section number 71. Till 66 we had taken under the special audit. Okay, till there we are completed. Now 67 to 71, very simple chapter. Okay, highly manageable. 67 to 71 section numbers which I just mentioned, this is coming from the CGST law. Now here first one, that is section number 67, which talks about inspection. Okay, now whenever the GST law has given the power to the proper officers to conduct inspection. Okay, for conducting inspection, if the officers have got reasons to believe. Okay, if the officer has got reason to believe. Now reason to believe is not merely a doubt. Okay, it is not merely a suspicion, but it is something more than suspicion, where you have got some knowledgeable facts about that particular matter, but it is not a final evidence also. Okay, so it is something more than mere doubt, but it is something less than the evidence. The officer is at such a level that he has got the reasons to believe that this taxable person, okay, this taxable person has either suppressed any transaction of supply of goods or services, or he has suppressed his stock in trade, okay, or he has taken more amount of ITC than was eligible to him, or if that person has contravened any provisions of the law, or if there is any particular transporter, or if there is any owner or operator of the warehouse, and if they have kept goods with themselves which has already escaped, okay, which has already escaped payment of tax with an intention to evade the tax. Okay, if proper officer is of the opinion that any of these things have happened, then proper officer can take a return authorization. Okay, proper officer can take a return authorization from the joint commissioner or above. Okay, basically we can say that joint commissioner or above who is giving this return authorization to the proper officer should have those reasons to believe that any of these pointers have been met. And once the authorization is given by joint commissioner or above to the proper officer, then they can do the inspection. Okay, they can do the inspection of any place of business of this taxable person or place of business of the transporter, owner or operator of the warehouse. Okay, now during this inspection, okay, or maybe otherwise, okay, during this inspection or otherwise, if suppose a proper officer is of the opinion that the goods are liable for confiscation, okay, goods are liable for confiscation, for that circumstances are given, as I can show you on, as you can see here on the board. Okay, so either the goods are liable for confiscation, means it should permanently go to the government's custody, or there are some documents, books, things, etc., which have been secreted in a particular place. Okay, means if the proper officer, again I am repeating, see how you are jumping from inspection to search and seizure. While during the inspection or otherwise, if the proper officer is of the opinion that the goods are liable for confiscation, or there are any particular documents, books, things, etc., which have been secreted, then the proper officer will now go and tell this to the joint commissioner, sir, so and so thing is there. So joint commissioner, if it is satisfied, joint commissioner or above, obviously, okay, if that person is satisfied, then it can carry on the search and seizure. Means JC or the above officer can give an authorization to some officers for conducting the search and seizure in the premises, in any particular premises. Okay, in any particular premises, it can give the authorization for conducting the search. Okay, now see, search means going and searching that particular premises to find out goods, documents, things, etc., and seizing means taking into custody till the time the tax is not repaid back to the government. Okay, now in which case, how will we determine? Now we studied that inspection can lead to search and seizure if one of the condition was that the goods are liable for confiscation. Now when does the goods become liable for confiscation? Goods become liable for confiscation if that particular person has done some supply of goods or services, or has received some goods or services with an intention to evade the taxes. Okay, or if that person has supplied the goods without even taking the registration under the law, or he has maybe received the goods but he has not accounted those goods in his books of accounts, or he has contravened the provisions of the law with an intention, not done by chance, okay, not done by mistakenly, he has done it with the intention to evade the taxes, or he has used some such conveyance, okay, vehicle, etc., for transportation or for carriage of goods so that he can evade the taxes. Are you clear with this? Yes. So for all these things, okay, for all, if any of these pointers are observed by the proper officer, then the proper officer can state that the goods are liable for confiscation, and for confiscating the goods, etc., we can conduct the search and seizure. And yes, from wherever you are confiscating the goods, etc., the person who was there, the person under whose custody the goods were there, that person should be given an opportunity to take the copies and extracts from those books. Okay, if you are seizing the books, documents, etc. Then now once the proper officer has got the authorization from the joint commissioner, he can conduct the search. Now during this particular search, he can search any particular premises, and during search, if he finds something there, then he can even confiscate the goods. He can take the documents, books, things, etc. into his custody. Sometimes it can so happen that it is not practically possible to seize. Okay, it is not, then in that case he will pass the detention order that you cannot remove this without the permission of the department. Okay, now sometimes it can so happen that when he is searching a premises, he found a box, he found a almirah, etc., which is locked. Okay, he is not getting the access to that. Then he has the power to break open the darwaza tod do. Okay, he has got the powers to break open that particular box, almirah, and all those things if he is if it is suspected that there is something hidden in that particular cupboard or almirah. And yes, whatever documents, etc., are seized, as soon as your proceedings are over, please return it back to that particular person. And if you are not using it at all, if you are not using it for the further proceedings, then please return it within 30 days from the date of issue of show cause notice, which is to be issued by the department to that particular person. Are you clear with this? Okay, now listen. Now once this is done, your goods and documents are kept with the officer. Okay, that is now kept with the officer. Now, can it impact your business? Definitely it can impact my business. Okay, so the GST law gives the provisional basis power to the to that particular taxable person, that the seized goods, okay, the seized goods which are kept with the department can be released. Okay, that can be released on provisional basis. On provisional basis, that is either that person can give a bond or execute a security, or he can pay the applicable taxes, pay it to the department and take it back. Okay, pay it to the department and take it back. That is one particular possibility. Second thing is, and he can conduct the business. Okay, that is provisional, basically in favor of that registered person. Okay, another point is, once it has been seized by the department, that is by the proper officer, for that notice has to be issued to that person, that is to the owner of that goods or owner of that premises. To that person we have to issue a notice. Okay, that notice is to be issued within a time period of 6 months. Okay, show cause notice and other things will be there. So that notice is to be issued within a time period of 6 months. If you are not issuing that notice, means if you are not starting the proceeding after search and seizure within a time period of 6 months by issuing a notice, then whatever goods, documents, etc. you have seized, you have to return it back to that person. Okay, means they are putting a time period on the department also. Start acting within a time period of 6 months. Acha, in some exceptional circumstances, when it is not possible to start within 6 months, their extension can be given by another period of 6 months. Okay, so maximum within 6 plus 6 months, you have to issue a notice to that particular assessee, that is to that particular taxable person, regarding the seizing of goods. Acha, sometimes it can so happen that whatever goods, etc. have been seized, okay, those goods are of perishable nature, or those goods are whose value is going to go on decreasing day by day, or which are hazardous. Okay, it is not safe to keep, or the department has space constraint. कम जगह है उनके पास में. If it has space constraint, then how do we keep it? Then the department has the power to sell it off. Okay, now after selling it off, who will get the money? Obviously, the money will be with the department if the goods are liable for confiscation. Okay, if the goods are not liable for confiscation, it should be returned back to that particular assessee. Then the money will be passed on to the assessee. Are you clear with this? Yes. Now listen. For this procedure of search, all the provisions from the Code of Criminal Procedure is applicable. Yes. Okay, and while doing this particular search, there is a procedure that needs to be followed. First of all, when that officer is going for a search, he need to take a search warrant with him. Okay, search warrant will be issued by whom? Search warrant will be issued by the joint commissioner or above. So proper officer, when he is going, please take a search warrant. Okay, if you're going and searching someone's residence, please make sure that at least one lady officer is accompanying you. Okay, then once you enter that particular premises, to the owner of that premises or to the person in charge of that premises, please show the search warrant and please show your ID cards. Okay, now once you have shown the search warrant, please take the signature of that person on the search warrant, meaning that person has read the search warrant. Okay, then before starting the search, make sure that you have at least 2 independent witnesses available with you from that particular locality. Okay, 2 independent witnesses should be, you must have seen in movies, na? 2 independent witnesses from that particular locality should be present to witness the search. If someone is not willing to come from that particular locality, then in that case, take 2 witnesses from any other locality, but at least 2 witnesses should be there and they should be briefed about the purpose of the search, that why are we conducting this search. Yes, and now the most interesting point, before starting the search, okay, the officers should offer themselves for search. Okay, the officers will offer themselves for search to the person in charge or to the owner of that particular premises, that they are not bringing anything with them into that particular premises. And similarly, once the search is done, after that also they will offer themselves for search, and so that they are not taking anything from your premises. Such type of claims should not come on the officers. That's why such a procedure, right? And once the search is completed, then there will be a document. Then there will be a document called as Panchnama or Mahazar that will be prepared, which will also include a list of all the documents, goods, etc., which has been seized by the officers. And yes, this Panchnama should be signed by, okay, this should be signed by the officers who are doing the search. It should be signed by those 2 witnesses. It should be signed by the owner or the person in charge of that premises. And we are going to send the original copy of this along with the original search warrant to that issuing officer, that is to the joint commissioner or above, along with a detailed report. Okay, along with a detailed report that sir, we did this search, we found out these things, and these were the persons who were present as witness, etc. Are you clear with this? Yes. Okay. Search warrant, what will it include? The search warrant which we showed to that particular person, it is basically an authority. Okay, it is basically a permission which is given by the joint commissioner to the officer, so that they are allowed to conduct the search there. Okay, and because the joint commissioner had reasons to believe that either there is some violation under the act. Okay, so he will write what is the violation. Okay, which premise is to be searched. This search warrant will be valid for how many number of days, who is going to do the search, okay, his name, designation, etc., who has given the search warrant, that is the details of the joint commissioner will be written there. Okay, then time and place of issue, time, place, date of issue of that search warrant, and so on so forth. These things will be written in this particular search warrant. Are you clear with this? Yes, this was all about your section number 67, which contained mainly 2 provisions. 3 provisions, I should say. One was your inspection, second one was confiscation, and third one is search and seizure provisions. Yes, now listen, the next section which we have already done before, that is section number 68, which was related to e-way bill. Whenever the goods are moving, okay, whenever the goods are moving from one place to another in any conveyance, then in that case, any officer has got the rights to stop that vehicle. Okay, obviously if the consignment value is exceeding a particular amount, to stop that particular conveyance and to inspect the goods while it is in movement. And interestingly, for this inspection, there is no authorization required. Okay, you need not take the authorization from the joint commissioner and so on for doing this particular thing. Are you clear with this? Yes. Then the next one is something called as power to arrest. Okay, next big part of the chapter, that is section number 69, power to arrest. Now, arrest term specifically is not given in the definition. That's why it was not included in our definitions also, because it is not defined in the GST law. But normally, what do you mean by the term arrest? Normally, arrest means taking into custody. Okay, lawfully or legally taking any person under our custody because he has done some contravention of the law. Okay, now arrest under GST can be done. Arrest under GST can be done if there is a tax evasion of more than rupees 2 crore. Okay, if that person has evaded tax of more than, maybe he has evaded tax of more than 2 crore, or he has taken ITC of more amount, or he has erroneously taken some refund of more amount, then in that case arrest can more than 2 crore, then in that case that person can be arrested. But if he is a repeated offender, okay, if he was convicted earlier, now again he has done the same thing, okay, then in that case we will not check the monetary limit. In that case, even if he has done something of lesser amount, then also he will be liable for arrest. Are you clear with this? Yes. Now listen, whenever any particular person is arrested, he will be given some punishments, imprisonment, fine, etc. And some offences are called as cognizable offence, some offences are called as non-cognizable offence. Means some are called as serious offence, some are called as comparatively less serious offence. That list is given in section number 132. And suppose if that person has done a cognizable offense, okay, that is a serious offense, then the police in charge can go and arrest him even without an arrest warrant, and then he will be presented before the magistrate within a time period of 24 hours of arrest. But if that particular person has done a non-cognizable offense, okay, non-cognizable and bailable offense, then in such a case he has comparatively done a less serious offense. If he has done a less serious offense, then arrest warrant is required for arresting him, and that person can be released on bail if authorized by the deputy commissioner or by the assistant commissioners. Okay, generally any particular offense where the amount of evasion involved, tax, is more than 5 crore, then it is called as cognizable offense, otherwise it is called as non-cognizable. Okay, for arrest it was how much? For arrest, if the amount of tax evaded is more than 2 crore, then only arrest provision was applicable. Within arrest, there were two types of offences, cognizable and non-cognizable. It will be called as cognizable offence when the amount involved is more than rupees 5 crore. Are you clear with this? Yes. Acha, in case of this cognizable offence, okay, in case of non-cognizable offence, bail can be granted by deputy commissioner or by assistant commissioner. In case of cognizable offence, if at all bail is to be granted, okay, then that will be decided by the magistrate itself. Are you clear with this? Okay. Now, more things that you will consider while arresting a particular person is what type of offence he has done. Okay, what is the gravity of the offense? What is the amount involved in the offense? Has he tampered with any evidences? Has he done something in the dummy name? Okay, and has he tried to, suppose if he is trying to abscond, then in that case we will directly go and arrest that particular person, right? Then the next section number, this was all about your arrest provisions. Now going on to the next section, that is section number 70, which talks about power to summon any person. Okay, power to summon any particular person means whenever any inquiry, okay, this is a simple section. Whenever any particular inquiry is going on under the GST law, then the proper officer will keep on asking for evidences, documents, etc. from that particular person. But now, if he is not cooperating during the proceedings, etc., then the proper officer has got the rights to legally issue him the summon, either to appear before him and to give the evidences, documents, etc., which has been asked. Okay, it can also ask to, give some statements on oath. The proper officer can ask that particular person, that accused person, to give some statement on oath. Okay, if this is done, then what is the responsibility? What is the responsibility of that person who is being summoned? It is the responsibility of such person to provide the first of all to appear before that particular officer, and to provide the necessary information whatever he has asked. Okay, if he is not appearing, or if he is trying to abscond, or he has appeared but he is not giving the evidences, or he is giving false evidences, okay, then in that case, in any of these cases, he will be liable to be prosecuted by the Indian Penal Code. And if he does not appear, then additionally, he will also be liable for a penalty of up to rupees 25,000 because he did not listen to the officer. Are you clear with this? Yes, just like I mentioned that if the person is not cooperating, okay, if that person to whom we are now planning to give a summon, if that person is not cooperating, then only you have to issue a summon, not otherwise. Okay, when you are giving a summons to some big companies, managers, CEOs, CFOs, etc., then they are telling please don't directly give them the summon at the first instance. Okay, try to gather evidences against them from here, and then if it does not work, then only give them a summon. Then the language of the summon should not be harsh, okay, because it will otherwise create a harassment on them. Okay, now just like we have been studying that inspection can be done by whom, search and seizure can be done by whom, arrest can be done by whom, etc. Yes, I think I missed one point in case of arrest. Okay, that was arrest. Arrest order can be passed by whom? Okay, arrest order can be passed by a commissioner. Okay, if you want, I'll just summarize it for you. Inspection. Okay, inspection can be done by a proper officer, but after taking a written authorization from JC or above. Okay, search and seizure has to be authorized by JC or above. Okay, arrest can be authorized only by a commissioner. And now coming to the summons point, summons can be issued by superintendent, lower level people, but only after taking the written permission from the officer not below the rank of assistant commissioner. Okay, so superintendents can issue summons, that is, it can tell other persons to come and be present in their office, but only after taking a written permission from assistant commissioner. Sometimes they say that it is not possible to take written permission, so in that case oral permission or telephonic permission is also sufficient. Are you clear with this? Yes, and yes, definitely a few points that they are telling from the point of view of that person who has been summoned is that don't unnecessarily summon any particular person. Only when it is justified and only when it is required, then only call that person in your premises. Next, don't call him again and again, that is, don't issue summon to him again and again repeatedly. Try to gather maximum information in one sitting only. Then don't make him sit for long hours until unless that is a part of your strategy. Okay, sometimes you will strategize that let's make him sit for more time, he will say more or he will be able to give more evidences. If that is the thing, then okay. Otherwise, normally don't make him sit for long hours, and whatever statements you are taking, please try to record it during office hours, but exceptions are there to that. Yes. Then the next section, that is section number 71, which talks about access to the business premises. Now this is a very, very general section. I have written here on the board also. Okay, this is a very, very general section where they are telling that any particular officer who has been authorized by JC or above, okay, any officer authorized by JC or above, they will be given a right, okay, they will be given access to the business premises of that particular person for conducting verification, for conducting audit, for doing checks, for doing scrutiny, etc. They have the right to visit your business premises, no issues in that. Okay, they can issue your business premises while visiting your business premises. They also have access to your books, accounts, documents, computers, computer softwares, and any other things. And if they ask anything else also, then you are liable to submit it to them within a time period of 15 working days from the day when they have demanded it. Same way, chartered accountant, cost accountant who were coming for the purpose of special audit, even they have access to all these things. Right now, which records are you required to show them, or which records are there to which they have the access? Okay, first of all, any records which are prepared by the registered person under the GST law. Okay, next one, your trial balance. Next one, your cost audit report if applicable, your income tax report if there is any, audited financial statements, and any other relevant records, okay, which has been maintained by you, which is there in your custody, which is there in your premises. All these things can be accessed by the officers. Okay, and this, whenever we are talking about the section number 71, it's not necessary that there is some evasion of tax that has happened. Okay, it is not necessary. That's why section 71 is a very general section. But when we were talking about section number 67, which was talking about inspection, then there it was conducted when the JC or above had the reasons to believe about all those things. Okay, so 67 was specific. But section number 71, the last section that we studied, that is this particular section that we studied, this section is very general. Yes, and the last one here, that is section number 72, which talks about officers to assist the proper officers. Now, whenever these proper officers are conducting any particular, they are doing any particular thing in the business premises, or in case of any particular client when they are doing any scrutiny, verification, audit, etc., search and seizure, etc., then it can so happen that they need help of other departments, or they need help of local police, they need help of local administration, etc. So now they have made it, they have put it in the law itself that police, railways, custom authorities, other GST authorities, authorities who are there in, officers who are there who are collecting the land revenue, village officers, or any other officers as notified by the government, all these officers have got the are mandatorily required to assist the proper officers. Okay, they are mandatorily required to assist the proper officers for what? For to assist the proper officers whenever they are conducting their scrutiny, verification, checks, audit, and all this. Are you clear till here? Simple chapter, manageable chapter.